Every superhero is not perfect. Our imperfections make us unique. I started losing weight and felt tired all the time. I knew in my heart that something was off. I was always hungry, thirsty, and had to go to the toilet often. I had dreams of being great, but this sickness made me weak. I felt like a defect. I went to the doctor, and I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes.
Like Katniss, thousands of teenagers around the world have type 1 diabetes and are able to live happy and healthy lives. To better understand it, let's have a look at what happens when you eat food.
Carbohydrates such as breads, cereals, pasta, rice, potatoes, fruits, and some vegetables are broken down into a sugar called glucose. This is absorbed and carried in the blood to all the cells in the body where it is used for energy. For glucose to enter the cells, you need insulin. Insulin acts like a key. It unlocks the door to allow glucose to go into the cell. Insulin is made in an organ called the pancreas. In type 1 diabetes, the pancreas is unable to produce insulin. And without insulin, glucose cannot enter the cells and builds up.
Along with my meals, I have to use insulin. It felt overwhelming initially as I had to be conscious about everything that I did. But once I understood the importance, I started feeling great again, rebuilding myself from the broken pieces of my dreams to be who I am today. With insulin, I gained weight. I was full of energy. I could live like any other person just because I ate well, exercised, and took my insulin regularly and correctly.
To control your high blood glucose level in type 1 diabetes, one uses insulin lifelong. There are 3 main different types of insulin based on how long they work in the body: short-acting, intermediate-acting, and long-acting. These are combined to create 2 main treatment plans with the help of your doctor. The first treatment plan includes short-acting and intermediate-acting insulin. The short-acting insulin is taken 30 minutes before each meal, breakfast, lunch, and supper. This is to make sure that insulin is ready to act by the time you start eating. And then intermediate-acting insulin is taken at bedtime before 10 p.m. The second treatment plan is a combination of short-acting and long-acting insulin in one vial. You take this 30 minutes before a meal, once or twice a day, as specified by your doctor.
I know that needles can be scary, but there's nothing to be afraid of. You gotta do what you gotta do. I store my insulin in the fridge to keep it from breaking down. But if you don't have a fridge, insulin can be stored at room temperature for up to 28 days. To make sure that I take my insulin correctly, I follow these steps. Step 1. Check the insulin. I check the vial for the expiry date and that the liquid is clear, and roll it gently between my hands to mix. Then I draw up the insulin into the syringe with the dose that my doctor told me. Don't ever draw up more than 40 units of insulin. Step 2. Choose the injection site. A trick that I use is to divide the stomach into quadrants, then divide each quadrant in half to get 8 areas, 1 for each day of the week and an extra. Use the corner of the square for breakfast, lunch, supper, and bedtime injections. Step 3. Administer the insulin. Pinch up a fold of skin and quickly insert the needle at a 90-degree angle. Keep the skin pinched to avoid injecting in the muscle. Push the plunger down completely to inject the insulin. Hold the syringe and needle in place for 5 seconds and then release the skin. Step 4. Clean up. Remove the needle from the skin and throw it away in an empty Coke bottle. Remember not to share needles. If you see blood or insulin at the injection site, just apply pressure to the area for 5 to 8 seconds. Don't rub it because this can cause the insulin to be absorbed too quickly. Sometimes insulin can make you gain weight, but I combat this by exercising and eating healthily.
It is very important to take the correct dose of insulin and not miss doses. If you take too much insulin, the glucose level in your blood will drop. This is called hypoglycemia. If you take too little insulin or skip a dose, the glucose level will rise. This is called hyperglycemia. Both situations are dangerous. In hyperglycemia, you can get very sick with a condition called diabetic ketoacidosis, where your body breaks down fats instead of glucose and can lead to increased urination, feeling thirsty, tired, nausea, vomiting, having blurry vision, and breathing deeply, and having sweet-smelling breath. You can collapse and fall unconscious. Therefore, it's very important to go to a hospital when you start to feel these symptoms. If the sugar is too low, you might start to feel shaky, sweaty, weak, and hungry. If you feel like this, eat a small sugary sweet or drink fruit juice, Coke or milk. If your sugar drops very low, you can become very drowsy, confused, and lose consciousness. Make sure your family and friends know that if they see you like this, they should take you to the hospital right away.
In order to live a healthy life with diabetes, I make sure I monitor my blood sugar levels, eat healthily, and exercise often. I monitor my blood sugar levels with a glucometer at least 4 times a day to know that my insulin and meal plan is working. I can still eat sweets and junk food, but I know what my limits are, and I protect myself by sticking to my meal plan and talking to my doctor before changing my diet. I love to exercise. Exercise helps control blood glucose levels and makes me feel good. 2.5 hours of cycling or running per week is enough. I go to the doctor every 2 to 6 months to check up my HbA1c levels. HbA1c is a long-term measurement of blood glucose control. I also contact my doctor whenever I'm sick, traveling, or if I ever need surgery, because that influences the amount of insulin to take. If I don't control my glucose correctly, it can lead to problems with the eyes, nerves, heart, kidneys, and blood vessels. You may be different from everybody else, but you are the keeper of your health. It's tough during your teenage years when you're trying to figure out yourself and create an identity. I spoke to my friends and educated them about my diabetes, and they were very understanding and accepted me for who I am. Don't be afraid of who you are. Do what you need to do to make yourself strong.